See, this is why I'm single. No other reason. Welcome back to the channel, guys, and happy Valentine's Day. Today our movie in the middle is Hard Eyes. Hard Eyes is the newest slasher movie following two business partners as they evade the couple's killing Hard Eyes killer and their own budding romance. It stars Olivia Holt, Mason Gooding, Jordana Brewster, and Devin Sawa. So again, happy Valentine's Day, or Galentine's Day, or Palentine's Day, or just a self-love day. Because love comes in all forms, and you don't have to just be in a couple. And if you are, clearly, you might be in danger. Because we have gotten now our first real big Valentine's Day slasher since probably My Bloody Valentine and its remake, which, funny enough, the original I actually just saw for the first time last night. I like that we're getting horror movies and slasher movies for holidays again, and not just like the big holidays, but specifically the small ones, like St. Patrick's Day, Valentine's Day, 4th of July. We had a lot of those like in the 80s and the 70s. That was like a big thing, obviously, of Black Christmas and Halloween, but you also had Terror Train, Leprechaun, and again, My Bloody Valentine. But we really didn't have a lot of those for a while, and the ones that we were getting, either we didn't get a specific holiday that had never been done before, or they just kind of sucked.
Those who dare face a horrifying and bloody new year, terrorized by monsters.
So I'm glad they're going back to that again, because within the last year or two, we've now gotten Thanksgiving, Y2K, and now Hard Eyes. So starting off with the highs, obviously the Hard Eyes killer himself or herself, whoever it is, we don't know. I love seeing what design they're going to come up with for the actual look of the killer, because it could be really cool. It could, like, the aesthetic could be really interesting, but obviously it also has to be scary. And I think in terms of recent slashers, this has the potential, if they were to keep going with it, or even if it's just a one-off, to be a recent, I don't want to say maybe a recent classic. I don't want to dub it just yet for that, but definitely one of those like B-tier ones that you don't think of right away, but you're like, oh wait, you know what, that was pretty cool. It has the potential for that for sure, and I really like how there's a lot of obviously Valentine's Day stuff in the costume and in the weapons. There's the steel arrows because of Cupid. There's, you know, the titular heart eyes, which do glow. And the reason for them glowing is because they're night vision, but in red, which is a really cool idea. I didn't expect that that's what that was actually for. And it's just a really cool how they were able to implement holiday stuff into the design. And as you can probably imagine with that, and in general, this movie is very fun. It leans into all of its cliches and stereotypes for all these types of rom-com movies, having, you know, all these locations that are very stereotypical for dates or Valentine's Day or even proposals. It leans into all of that so as to not take itself too seriously, but at the same time, it's actually really well done. There's a lot of great kills, there's a lot of great chemistry and moments between the characters, and the mystery at the center of it was also really cool. This is a very Scream-like movie, which is funny because it stars Mason Gooding, and I think it's by the same people who've done the recent Screams, so that makes sense. He seems to be in a lot of these kind of movies with them where it's, you know, a big slasher, you don't know who it is underneath, you're trying to find out and also trying to not die. And the chemistry between the two main characters is really good. It's one of those movies where it could definitely just feel overly cheesy or fall flat, or they don't actually have chemistry, or it's just kind of dumb like a Hallmark movie, something like that. But they're actually pretty good in this one. They have really good chemistry with each other, and the way that they bounce off of each other and their types of personalities is really cool, because you have the main character who isn't really into romance. She doesn't believe in it because of certain things that she saw as a child, and she just doesn't really buy into the whole thing. And then you have on the opposite end of that, the guy who is the super smooth, suave, he's easy on the eyes, and he's really great with flirting and, you know, all these things to like make people attracted to him, and he's just a very hopeless, romantic kind of person, although he seems to have a lot of hope. So having them kind of bounce off of each other and obviously develop this romance, which they keep saying isn't there, but it's obviously there. It did feel very organic the way that it was developed, and they're bouncing off of each other and learning deeper things about each other and how they kind of bring out, you know, maybe they're not so secure in what they were thinking or what they believe. It was just all great. You know, it's one of those things that you kind of know that's where it's going, but it's all about the details and about the chemistry between the two, and they were great. And this is not something I really expected to have as such a high with the movie, but A lot of the cinematography was great. There's a lot of great imagery in this movie. I specifically love this shot. I don't know what it is about it, I just really like it. I just thought there was a lot of great shots in this movie. They just did a really good job with that as well. For my middles, the big one is the ending and the kind of twists and reveals of the killer. There are definitely things that I didn't expect, but there were some things that did feel predictable. It's kind of like those Scooby-Doo episodes, like the very original early ones, where there's sort of like two other people aside from the Scooby Gang, so it's like, oh, yeah, so it's gotta be that person, right?
It's the gay blade!
It did feel predictable in a way, but there were twists that I did not expect, and that did kind of reframe the movie a little bit in a different light, where I do want to watch this again, not just for the twists, but for that as well. And I thought that was pretty cool, you know, so it didn't like completely blow me away or surprise me, but it was pretty cool that they still had some twists in there. And this is a nitpick thing, but they call the Heart Eyes killer on the news HEK for short. And I'm like, that definitely takes longer to say than just Heart Eyes. HEK. The HEK, it just sounds stupid. I'm sorry. And they even have like in the headlines on the news, like, where the heck is he gonna strike next or something? And I'm like, this is just call him Heart Eyes. It's the name of the movie. And for my lows, they're not really that big. The one is that there were definitely moments, lines, things that could have come back around or been utilized more that could have happened within the scene that would have just been the cherry on top. You know, like the scene was great. It was fine by itself. But there were these little moments that I went, oh, they should have done that here. I expected him to say that. And it would have just like enhanced it even more, been like, yes, that was just such a really good scene, really good dialogue. There's just little things like that I was thinking of, but that's just a preference. Also, I would have liked for some of the kills to be a little bit more holiday related. There's a lot of holiday movies where they take every single symbol or aspect of that, and every kill is one of those things. Say what you will about Uncle Sam, that movie knew how to implement the holiday in their kills. And don't get me wrong, some of them definitely are. Like, obviously, the arrows in the trailer, they're gonna be killing people. And there's some that are, like, Valentine's Day adjacent, but there weren't actually as many that I thought were like, oh, this is, like, a true holiday-related kill. And actually, funny enough, there's one that is a holiday-related kill, but it's the wrong holiday. Which I thought was really funny. So overall, I didn't have a super amount of expectation going into Heart Eyes, but I knew it was going to be fun, and that's exactly what it was. It didn't blow me away, but it was really fun. You know, it's a holiday slasher. You just have to go into it being like, this is going to be kind of a dumb time, but it's going to be really fun. And what actually did surprise me is that you can actually take it pretty seriously. There's some good twists, there's some good, you know, mysteries that come up in the middle where you're just like, wait, can I trust this character or not? It was kind of like Scream Light, where there definitely felt like moments that are very Scream related, but not as dark. It was just a really fun time to get you into the Valentine's Day spirit, which I don't really normally get into that as much, but I don't know, this year I kind of have. And it was really cool to have this movie with it. And again, the characters were really good. You could actually take them seriously, you could feel for them, and I really liked their riffing that they had off of each other. It was pretty cool. I'm going to give Heart Eyes a 3 out of 4. Well, guys, let me know what you thought of Heart Eyes. Tell me what your plans are for Valentine's Day or whatever you're going to be doing in the comments below. I will probably be doing a puzzle. No, I'm not going to do a puzzle. And as always, keep your hopes high, your stress low, and loved ones right in the middle. I'll see you guys later.